Hey there, friends, and welcome back to another 3-Minute Thoughts. My name is Derek, and in the next 3 minutes, we're going to take a look at the book of 1 Samuel, chapters 1, 2, and 3. Reminder, the period of the Judges is behind us. The story of Ruth has already laid out what the future is going to look like through the lineage of Ruth and Boaz, bringing us the kingship of Jesus eventually. But so now let's jump into 1 Samuel, chapters 1, 2, and 3. Chapter 1 deals with a prayer, a promise, and a birth. The story kicks off in 1 Samuel chapter 1 with Hannah, a woman deeply grieved because she's unable to have children. Her husband, Elkanah, loves her dearly, but his other wife, Peninnah, mocks her for her barrenness. At the temple of Shiloh, Hannah pours out her heart to God, praying so fervently that the priest Eli thinks that she's drunk. But she's not. She's just desperate. She takes a vow before God and says if God gives her a son, she will dedicate him to the Lord's service continually. God hears, Hannah becomes pregnant and gives birth to Samuel, whose name means heard by God. After he is weaned and able to be dedicated in the temple, she keeps her promise and brings him to the temple to live and serve alongside Eli. Chapter 2 moves us into Hannah's response to God's faithfulness and how it brings such a beautiful, worshipful prayer in chapter 2. It's a song of praise that foreshadows Mary's Magnificat in the book of Luke. She rejoices in God's power to lift the lowly and bring down the proud. Meanwhile, Eli's other sons, Hophni and Phinehas, are priests, but they're corrupt, greedy, and immoral, to say the very least. They treat God's offerings with contempt, and they abuse their position. If you want to contrast that with Samuel, he serves faithfully, growing in stature and favor both with God and the people. A prophet comes to Eli with a warning because he hasn't restrained his own wicked sons. Judgment is coming to his household. God is not going to overlook this sin. Samuel chapter 3, 1 Samuel 3, shows us how God speaks and a new voice rises. In this chapter, young Samuel's lying down in the temple and God calls his name. Thinking it's Eli, he runs back and forth, and eventually Eli informs him that this is probably God, and so respond with, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." God speaks to Samuel for the very first time, revealing the coming judgment on Eli's family. It's a pretty heavy message, but Samuel delivers it faithfully. From that moment on, Samuel is established as a prophet, someone through whom God speaks to his people. These chapters remind us that God hears the cries of the brokenhearted, and he raises up faithful people, young or even the overlooked, for his purposes. That's it for today, friends. Be well.